birdies. Super low. Probably looking at the lighthouse, I think. Turn this way. Hope it don't crash into the cliff. He's just come up Beachy Head, literally up the cliff. Just missed him coming up. What I don't get is how the cows have eaten all those lines. They've almost made a track out of grass. I think the farmer's even there. Must have been like a grass racing track or something, or something for fun. Look, it's quite cool. But many cows as well. Just going to have a quick glance over the to the lighthouse down the bottom of Beachy Head here. What a beautiful day. Couldn't have picked a nicer day to come up here, really. Absolutely stunning. But as you can see, as you can hear rather, very windy up there, sadly, and I didn't have a microphone with me because obviously I wasn't carrying very much stuff because my car was in the garage and I didn't want to have to cart a load of stuff around with me that day, so I'd literally just bought the RX10IV out for the day and a spare battery. And obviously it was a little bit gusty up there, and with the wind off the cliffs and things like that, it can be a bit random which way it comes. So sadly it was a case of a bit of voicing over, but views up there are always stunning. You just got to be very careful with the edge of the cliffs there because they are very unstable, and you know, even standing that close is probably risky. But you know, it's yeah, beautiful views. Always looks stunning up there, even if it's moody weather, miserable weather. It always looks interesting. So here's the Beachy Head lighthouse, and always love looking down there when you can see there was a paddleboarder out for the morning doing his lap. I expect probably went around the lighthouse and went back, I'd imagine. So yeah, if you want to look up on Google, you can look up the Beachy Head lighthouses, because there's that one there, and then you've got the one which I'm heading towards now in the car, called Bell Toot, which actually slid back on a load of grease and metal rails years and years ago now, to stop it falling off the cliff. It's now a little hotel-y bed and breakfast place where you can actually stay, which I'm actually really tempted to do so, which would be rather nice, especially on a wintry night. I think might be quite cool on clear skies. Then I headed off to Newhaven. Newhaven is a port, so you can sail to France, I think, from there. And obviously lots of different boats come in and out, including cargo and dredgers and all that sort of stuff as well. So there's a lifeboat station there. So I ended up walking along the cliffs for a while. Beautiful day, a bit windy, which is a shame, like I said. But yeah, just stunning views, peace and quiet, and just a bit of wildlife every now and again, and just those views which were lovely. So yeah, really, really nice for a wander while I was wasting time basically waiting for my car to be fixed. And yeah, here we go. So Newhaven harbour area in inland and everything like that, there's loads of old Second World War bunkers, pillboxes and stuff like that, and obviously lookouts from the Second World War. I thought there was one here somewhere. Oh, duh, here it is. Trenches, gun emplacement kind of thing. It's probably all blocked up now, but this probably would have had a big gun somewhere. Yeah, sadly they've blocked it all up just to stop vandals and stuff. But yeah, this would have been, yeah, a big gun. So it would have been a big gun here. Look out towards France, basically. So they would have had obviously guns to shoot warships and things like that, but also probably anti-aircraft guns as well. So the World War II kind of era is one of my favourite times of the of historic times, really. Obviously very bad, but all the old bunkers and stuff are really interesting. I find them fascinating, that people would have been working in there. The fact they built them very quickly, and obviously they were utilised for a period of time, but the fact they're still there now is quite remarkable. Some obviously aren't. They've been either fallen into off cliffs and into the sea, or onto the beach and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, that's why we went to Dunkirk a few years ago, just to have a look at the beach and the bunkers and stuff like that. It was quite interesting. I'll put a link in the description actually, so you can have a watch of that one if you want to. It's quite a cool place to visit. But also, as I was walking up towards the Coast Guard station here, where they can obviously see out to sea and have probably got radar and sonar and stuff like that in there that they can monitor things. More bunkers. So I'm not sure how many are along this on this stretch here. I've never really walked further than here, so it might be quite a good walk one day, just to carry on walking along the cliffs a bit more, which would be interesting. But there's obviously another gun emplacement there, and then on the wall there you'll see in a moment there's a sign saying something. But I say the views were, and you can kind of see the view, the vantage point that they had back then. They could see things coming for a very, very long way. Yeah, so here there was an old fort, like Castle Hill. Very, very old, very, very old fort. So yeah, obviously even back then it had its benefits of being high up. So you had a good vantage point and quite a lot of safety, I'd imagine, which is quite cool. So yeah, interesting bit of history there as well. So if that sort of interests you, it's worth looking into. And then I got the phone call saying your car's ready. So I thought, right, let's go and grab a little bit of food on the way back, because basically I hadn't eaten much that day. So I thought, well, I've done a good bit of walking and exploring around. Let's go and grab something to eat. And headed back in the E208. So I had the E208, which was not a bad little car actually for the day. Interesting to drive an electric car for the first time. So yeah, enjoyed that moment, and I tried to run the battery down as much as I could, but it's actually more efficient than you think. Anyway, headed back to the car, and let's have a look at some of the photos. So guys, pretty much straight out of the camera most of these, but a couple of little adjustments on the levels and everything. But the wind farm out off Brighton from Eastbourne, up on Beachy Head, just a shot there. That's the Beltute lighthouse I was talking about, looking down the road there. Shooting full manual, and just adjusting my shutter speed, basically leaving the f-stop around about f4 to f5.6 generally, ISO 100, and then whatever my shutter speed needed to be. That was the E208 I had, which was quite pleasant. This one I quite like. Big moody clouds, very low in the sky considering, but massive shadows on the ground from them, so it was quite cool to watch that. Car shot, just thought it was quite cool with all the clouds and the hill in the distance and the road and the car side on. A little snap there. Looking down from Berlin Gap across to Hope Gap, I think that's called. There's some steps that go down, and there's a little cave and everything there you can actually go in. The Sparrow, while he was looking at me, had to boost the shadows very slightly because he was facing away from the sun, so he had no light on his face, so I had to up that slightly, but other than that, no editing. The helicopter flying low, bit of a panic shot because he sort of appeared from nowhere originally, and my shutter speeds were quite high, like 1250th a second, where ideally they needed to be down 200th to get the old rotor blades motion. Fishing boat doing its fishing, and the wind farm out to sea there. The big moody clouds made it really nice to photograph. If you just get a boring blue sky, yeah, it does work sometimes, but a lot of the time big just empty blue skies don't look that great, so having big moody clouds makes it sometimes a bit more interesting. Not the best shot in the world, but two jackdaws there sitting on a tree, looking down towards the sea. Beachy Head Lighthouse again, and it's quite a cool view from up there. Wide angle 24mm, it just works. E208 again. Just thought might as well take a few snaps, and there is a video about it if you want to go and have a watch, and just my thoughts about the electric car. It's quite cool. And me sitting in the helicopter. So basically, I went and found the guy when he landed. I saw it land. I thought, I'm going to go speak to him and actually send him, or give him my business card, and I could send him some photos and video if he wanted to use it. Feel free, kind of thing. Because I was just out and about enjoying stuff. Really nice guy. And we could chat to him about the helicopter and everything like that. Very interesting. And let me sit in it and have a chat about it. So that was quite cool. He was wasting time basically just because he was waiting for a client to come back. So we'll be doing some filming up there at some point. They were just sort of scouting for ideas. And then a bicycle company were out and about. They were showcasing that bike, and they utilised the helicopter in the view, and I took that shot for them. Back at New Haven, I think it's a dredger was heading out to sea, so I was going to do some stuff. So a few shots there of it, which was interesting. The New Haven lighthouse on the sea wall there, and if you're from this area or you know the area, the kinds of waves you get coming crashing up over the top of that lighthouse in the winter when you have big storms and stuff is incredible, and it makes such good photos. There we go. So that's the pilot boat, the little pilot boat on the left, and then the boat being escorted out of the harbour there, and then the lighthouse again. Look really quite cool. Just shows you the size of things. A few seagulls in flight. Just cruising past me because I was up on the cliff level. They were sort of level with me, so it was quite an easy shot to capture. And again, that's the seawall in the distance there as it cruised past me. So I grabbed a couple of shots there. And one last shot was just looking straight out to sea, looking down the sea wall. So I walked along the cliff a bit longer, and so I could almost look straight up the sea wall before it curved. So just to give it a different look than I would do normally. Sadly, they blocked it all off, so you can't go up there. We used to walk up there years ago, and in storms and stuff like that, you get photos from there. But people got so wet, and some people I think probably got knocked off and got injured and stuff. So it's probably wise, I guess. But it was quite cool that you could go up there. There's a tunnel on the right hand side, hidden in the sort of raised part that you can walk in without getting too soaked. But it did used to flood through there a bit as well, and yeah, absolutely mad sometimes. I remember a couple of times being up there and thinking, blimey, this is getting sketchy. So we sort of clambered back, but yeah, it was good out. I really enjoyed the day. The RX10 showing its use and wealth of usability as always. But yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it was just a bit random, but yeah, any questions about the RX10 Mark IV or the A6700 or the A1 or any of the other Sonys out there, feel free to leave a comment below or send me an email or follow me on Instagram and all that sort of malarkey, and I shall see you soon.